So, hello and welcome back yet again to what we are starting, which is book two of Heidi. It's interesting how many of these older books were released either as like serial things, like the Charles Dickens book we read, A Tale of Two Cities. That was serialized, where it was like a chapter a week or something, or they were released in two parts or something like that. I wonder if it's because production was just so much harder or because people were more patient back then. I'm not patient. I'm one of those that likes to just binge watch an entire season of something. There's, I guess there is something to be said for the anticipation, which is, I guess, kind of what I make you guys do by doing these one chapter a night. But it's interesting. But we're starting book two of Heidi. In the last book, we got to see Heidi going up on the Alm and meeting the grumpy old Alm uncle, who is her grandfather, and discovering he's really not so bad. And then it ended with him saying that at least in the winter, he will move into town and let Heidi go to school. So that's very cool. I don't know what book two is going to do for us, but I guess we're going to find out, aren't we? As we begin book two of Heidi by Johanna Spyri and chapter one, which is titled Preparations for a Journey. And chapter one actually starts with a picture. So that's what we're going to do, is look at this picture. I would say that's Clara. The kind doctor, who had decided that Heidi must be taken back to her mountain home, was passing along the broad street towards the Sussman house. It was a sunny September morning, but he was gazing at the white stones at his feet and didn't even notice the blue sky. The doctor's only daughter had been taken from him by death a few months ago, and there was a sadness in his face that had not been there in the spring. When he rang the bell, Sebastian opened the door. "Good morning, Sebastian," said the doctor in his usual friendly voice, and then he went up the stairs. "I'm glad you have come, doctor," said Mr. Sussman. "I want to talk to you again about Clara's going for a visit to Switzerland." "My dear Sussman, it cannot be," said the doctor, taking a seat next to his friend. "This is the third time you've sent for me, although I keep telling you the same thing every time we talk." "Yes, you are right." Mr. Sussman laid his hand on the doctor's shoulder. "But it is hard for me to deny the child a trip I promised her. She's borne these last days so patiently in the hope that she would be able to visit her friend Heidi in the Alps." "I know," said the doctor. "But Clara has not had such a bad summer in years. She could not take such a long journey without danger. If there is to be any hope for her recovery, we must use the greatest care and the most cautious treatment. She can go next spring, if she's better." Herr Sussman, who had listened silently and with an expression of sadness, jumped to his feet. "Doctor, tell me, do you really have any hope for her improvement?" The doctor shrugged. "Very little," he said. "But think for me, friend. Have you not a dear child who longs for you when you're away, who is delighted when you come home? Although she has to be deprived of very many things that others enjoy, she is, in some respects, highly favored. You're lucky to be together. Think about me in my lonely house." Herr Sussman began to walk up and down the room, the way he did when he was deeply absorbed in anything. Suddenly he stood in front of his friend. "Doctor, I have an idea. I cannot see you like this. You must get out of yourself a little. And do you know how? You will undertake the journey and visit the child Heidi in our place." The doctor was surprised at this proposal, but Herr Sussman gave him no time to object. He grabbed his friend by the arm and he pulled him into Clara's room. Clara always looked forward to seeing the doctor, and she looked up at him with a wan smile when he sat down next to her bed. Herr Sussman moved up his chair, and taking Clara's hand, he began to talk about the journey to Switzerland. He glided quickly over the fact that it was now out of the question for her, for he was afraid of the tears that would be sure to come. He quickly went on to the new plan, and he impressed Clara with the fact that her dear friend would derive great benefit by this journey. Tears did indeed come, and they swam in Clara's blue eyes, although she tried to hold them back. She knew how much her papa did not like to see her cry, but the prospect of the visit to Heidi had been her only comfort during this long, lonely summer. But since Clara was not in the habit of arguing, she knew that her papa was denying her the trip for her own good. She choked back her sobs and she grabbed the doctor's hand. "Oh, please, please won't you go?" she begged. "Then come back and tell me about everything up on the Alm. I want to know what Heidi's doing, and all about her grandfather and Peter and the goats. Then you must take some presents from me to Heidi. I have something for the grandmother too. Please, doctor, do go. And while you're gone, I will really truly take all of the cod liver that you prescribe." Whether this promise was the deciding factor or not, the doctor smiled and said, "Then I must certainly go, Clara-chan, for you will grow round and strong as Papa and I would like to have you. When should I go? Have you decided on that too?" "I have. Tomorrow early," said Clara. "Yes, she is right," said her father. "The sun is shining, the sky is blue, and no time is to be lost, for it's a shame not to be enjoying this day up on the Alps." And at that, the doctor had to laugh. "Next thing, you'll be reproaching me for not being already there, Herr Sussman, so I will do well to get away." But Clara held the doctor fast. First, she had to give him all sorts of messages for Heidi and to remind him of so many things that he must notice and then tell her all about. The things she wanted to send to Heidi would be taken to him later, for Fräulein Rottenheimer would have to help her pack them. Servants often have a wonderful facility of finding out long before they've been told what's going on in their master's house. When Sebastian opened the front door for the doctor, he made a deep bow and said, "Will you be so kind as to give the little mamselle my regards?" "Why, Sebastian," said the doctor, "do you know so soon that I'm going?" Sebastian only coughed. I don't know certainly, but oh yes, I remember. As I happened to be passing through the hall just now, I heard the little mamselle's name mentioned. It often happens that we can put one thought and another together, and in that way yes, said the doctor with a laugh. "And the more thoughts you have, the more you know. Goodbye, Sebastian. I will deliver your message." Clara expected to have to struggle with Fräulein Rottenheimer before she would consent to send away all the things that Clara wanted Heidi to have, but in this she was happily disappointed. Fräulein Rottenheimer was unusually good-natured. She laid out the things that Clara selected on a big table, but packing was no easy task, for the presents were very differently shaped. First, there was a thick cloak with a hood for Heidi, so that during the coming winter she might visit the grandmother whenever she wanted and not have to wear a sack. Next came a warm shawl and a box of cookies for grandmother, followed by a huge sausage. Clara had first intended this for Peter because he had never had anything to eat but bread and cheese, but then she changed her mind, fearing that Peter in his delight might want to eat the whole sausage all at once. So she decided that his mother Brigitte was to have it first and take a good bit of it for herself and the grandmother, and then she could give Peter his portion at different times. There was a little bag of tobacco for the grandfather, who liked to smoke his pipe as he sat in front of the hut at night. And last came a number of mysterious little bags and packages and boxes, which Clara had taken special delight in collecting, for they contained all sorts of things to give Heidi happiness. At last the work was finished, and an imposing package was on the floor ready for the journey. Just looking at the package made Clara happy. She knew exactly how Heidi would jump up and down and shout with joy when the bundle reached her. Finally, Sebastian came in and swung the bundle up on his shoulder and headed out for the doctor's house. And that is the end of chapter 1. I'm curious because I don't think it's ever said what exactly Clara's ailment is, just that she is in a wheelchair, is very delicate, and the doctor wants her to take cod liver oil, which if she lived in the here and now, she could just take as a nice supplement. I can't imagine having to actually drink cod liver oil. It sounds disgusting. So I don't blame Clara for not taking it. I wonder if she's supposed to have like tuberculosis or if it's just something. Also, I feel bad for the doctor. We didn't even know he had a daughter, and now we find out that she's dead. That's kind of sad. Anyway, short chapter tonight, but don't worry, tomorrow's looks much longer. So thank you so much for listening. Also, congratulations to Leo2. I forgot the numbers at the end of the name, but congratulations for winning the bag. As soon as I get an address, I will be shipping it out to you, if you even watch these. But if not, that is also fine. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Please do hit the thumbs up on your way out, and I will see you tomorrow.